candidates and the newly elected officers. And I also want to say to Florida, we thank you for letting us be here in Florida. We love being here in Florida. But most of all, we miss the state of Florida and the activities that you used to have for us. And we hope that you come back next year with gusto, and we want you on our board.
Since I got orders to move forward, I will do that. Mr. President, delegates of this great convention, members and guests, what a pleasure it is to be here today with my wife and myself. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Yeah. You can hear her in the background. See, I hear this all.
Always been in your background.
That's all right. That's all right.
Well, let's see where we left off. We're here today to nominate officer and our daughter to be president of the United States. I'll take it back, Southern Federation of Syrian American Lebanese Clubs. People do not realize how important it is when we stand up here to look at the delegates in there, wanting to know who's going to be the president, who's going to lead this federation for the next year, because they're anxious to bring in somebody that's going to help us move forward. And it thrills us to be here to tell you that you're going to have a dynamic president.
Woo woo!
Why I'm saying this is because we're here very joyfully, but yet, you know, electing a president and nominating and putting in office is a very solemn obligation, and it's an obligation for this federation. But it's a joyous one because you're bringing in new blood and moving forward. And I thank each and every one of you for being serious enough, love your federation hard enough and long enough to come here when you can be outside swimming somewhere, but to elect a president. And when you bring a president in, that president has the obligation to do the things that will perpetuate the organization, in this case the Federation, Southern Federation. And you look up the word perpetuate in Webster's dictionary, and it says permanent and forever. So I think this has been the feeling of the Federation, all of us who come here each year, to perpetuate this Federation. Let nothing from the outside come in and tear us apart, to bring more people in, let them enjoy the fellowship and love that we have. And we ask ourselves, what is it that perpetuates, helps us to perpetuate the Federation? And that is it the scholarship program? Maybe. Is it the Ducky Line that we dance in? Maybe. Is it the charity club and donations that we give? Maybe. Is it the foundation, the youth of the organizations, or the young men and women who meet and marry? Maybe. But what is the most important of all of those things that encompass these but others? And that's you being here today. You come in here every year. I come here every year. And what do? We come to these meetings because they're important. But 90% of the time, each one of us comes here to see each other. I want to make sure I see John Doe, or John, or Jim. I want to know how he's feeling. Let's talk about it. That's the cohesiveness of the Southern Federation. That's what brings us together here today. And that's what we're striving for. make sure that we can accomplish that goal. So I want to say, ladies and gentlemen and delegates, Adeline and I are here to nominate a most aggressive, intellectual, beautiful, determined young lady who has been involved in the Federation since her birth 39 years ago. A woman who is a single mom, who has had 2 children, Jonathan and Madison, 26 and 22. I know of no other person who had from birth to the running for president has had the exposure and the experience as our nominee. This young lady has had her own experiences, but in addition to that, she's had the privilege of being with her dad and her mother. And her dad in 1965 to go through the whole southern states and visit the different clubs, and her mother in 1985 to go with her mother to the clubs throughout the Southern Federation. The exposure and the experience of knowing what the president's obligations are and what she has to do to be president. So I do not, and I cannot tell you today, anyone else from birth to running for president has had any more experience than Sharon. Precious moments is for us to see your first baby daughter come up to take on the president of the Federation, which we all love, and we're excited about that. And I think my wife has been pulling my trousers a little bit, trying to tell us.
Now you know who dominates at that house. Ralph, I really think you made a mistake in saying 39. I think you know Sharon's over here laughing, and she's really appreciated it. But there's one other thing that we haven't said about Sharon. Sharon recently became engaged to a wonderful man. And I won't speak long, but as Sharon's mother, I've known her for a few years. I've seen her grow up, and she has grown up as one of the most determined ladies to make something of herself all of her life. She is one of the most intelligent young ladies that I have seen in a long time. She's outgoing, she's diversified, she's energetic, she's innovative, and not only all of that, she's been saying that she's been wanting to be president of the Federation since she was about 2 years old. Sharon has owned her own business. She used to own a modeling agency, and she used to be in public relations to a national organization, and she has, now she's presently working for an oil company. And in the Federation, she served 2 terms as the on board, and 2 years as a scholarship director. 2 times as a scholarship director. So she has experience within the Federation, and I want you to know that Ralph and I are deeply honored today to be able to nominate our daughter, and we would love for everyone to vote for Sharon. It's an indeed for our family to say that we're placing our daughter, Sharon Ann Abersey. You want to say something? Okay.
Who can better represent the Federation? Sharon Ann can. Who can encourage and bring more clubs into the Federation? Sharon Ann can. Who can bring more individuals to join the Federation?
Sharon Ann can.
Okay. And who can get the youth more involved in the Federation? Sharon? All right. Who can excite more people to participate in the operation of the Federation? Sharon Ann can. Okay. There's no question in our mind. The personality, the intelligence, and the willingness to donate her time and energy to the Federation. There's no other candidate can be better than our daughter Sharon Ann can.